Good morning, everyone. We get to hear from Michael Olsen this morning. He's going to wow and amaze and teach and mentor us. So get your notebooks out. Thank you, Michael. Go ahead.
All right, it was kind of funny listening to Wyman yesterday. He's kind of led in because of his coaching background to what I was going to talk about too. So I was like, amazing. But I'm a firm believer, you know, again, I got woke up in the middle of the night. I didn't change anything this time. This is the one I was going to do back in July, but it's kind of twofold. Part of it's a coaching philosophy stuff, and the other part is from the book that I've learned from. I want to do a participation for you guys to see how it works for you. So starting off, when you coach a game, there's a practice plan and a game plan. The practice plan is how can I prepare my team to be successful on the court, and as I prepare them, I set time limits on everything to do. And for the game, and then after you have games, then it's easier to create practice plans. So before the season starts, you kind of just cover all your bases. Um, and the same thing applies with this. We have to have the knowledge. We have to have, be able to deal with the adversities and all things. So if we don't practice those things, it's kind of hard to deal with them. So, for example, balance. Um, you don't want to have too much of one part of the practice plan and not have the other pieces, because if you fill all your time with the one, say reading the books, now you're not familiarizing yourself with the videos and how you can utilize those when you talk to people, what they might relate to better. So there's there's a balance of all of these. Knowing the people. So when I coach an athlete, I have them do a couple things. I have them fill out a form because I want them to tell me what what am I good at in this sport, volleyball or basketball, and what are my weaknesses. And I always tell them, I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to mess with your mind because I already know that your mind is the weakest part of your game. And I'm going to make it stronger. So don't think I'm picking on you. I'm just trying to help you be stronger mentally so you're tough through the tough time when it's challenging. So, um, saying all that, you have, as they fill out those forms, there's another one, and some of the other coaches always thought it was funny, but I would have them fill out um, the girls about themselves or the boys. Are they in a home with both parents, single parent, step parents? Are they an only child? Are they uh, a blended family with multiple kids and stuff like that? Where are they in the sibling link? Because all those variables can determine how they are. There's Dr. Kevin Lehman has a book that the birth order, and it's phenomenal after going through it and reflecting on your own life. I'm a middle child, but I'm an oldest son, so we have a lot of the characteristics, but some are stronger than others, which creates how we can teach and what we absorb. So, and if you spend too much time on something, then it just starts flying over our heads. So timing is huge in training. And one of the things I always, he talked about lining up for doing lines when they said the word can't. That's not in your vocabulary. I'm still developing, or I'm still learning. We always want to channel the thought pattern so we're getting better, stronger. Um, and I always use motivational songs. So, like Unbreakable, phenomenal song by what's the group's name? It is Fire Flight. And then there's another one by Mercy Me that's called Move. You know, it's all about action. So, um, and then there's some others, but Warrior is another great one. We have to be a warrior, what we do, you know, whether it's sports or when I'm at UPS, I'm a warrior. I get in there and do what I got to do, or Amazon, whichever place I'm at. So, say all that. The book Limitless, it was reading had always been a challenge for me. And Jim Quick talked about in his childhood, in the old days, some of you guys will relate to this. We sat in a circle and we had to go around the circle and read. Well, as a young kid, I got in trouble because I got bullied, and so I would act out, and someone make fun of me, I would retaliate, and verbally, not mean, but so I just stayed away from reading. So after hearing his story and the challenge of we need to read more, I went ahead and did the audio book, and here's where I want you guys to participate. So I'm going to read 10 words, and don't write them down. Just go off memory, and I'm going to read them, and then tell me how many of those 10 words you actually remember. And then I'm going to give you a way of learning that he taught, that since I've learned this, I cannot forget these 10 words. So here we go. First word, fire hydrant. Second word, balloon. Third word, battery. Fourth word, barrel. Fifth word, board. Sixth word, diamond. Seventh word, night. Eighth word, ox. Ninth word, toothpaste. And the last word is sign. So, out of those 10 words, how many of you can say all 10? Anybody? Okay. When I did it the first time, all I could remember was 2. So, he mentioned that the old way of learning was memorization, stuff that people my age, we could reach that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd have to write something on a board 50 times and still didn't always learn it. So they had all these different philosophies, and they still use those in schools today. But then he goes, have you ever heard the terminology, a picture is worth 1,000 words? And I'm like, who hasn't heard that, right? So then he goes, all right, close your eyes. And I couldn't because I was driving, but I went with the the process in my mind. So he goes, let's talk about this, about the words that if we put a picture to it, then we remember it. So he goes, imagine right beside you is a huge fire hydrant. And attached to that huge fire hydrant is all these balloons. What color are your balloons? And he goes, as these balloons, they're floating up, lifting the fire hydrant. And all of a sudden you see these batteries hitting the balloons and starting to pop the balloons. And you look to see where the batteries are coming from, and they're coming from this wood barrel. And leaned up against the wood barrel is a surfboard. On the surfboard, it's angled off, and this not little diamond, but a 84 carat diamond is rolling down the surfboard. As that diamond rolls down the surfboard, it falls off and hits this knight in shining armor in the head, and it knocks him out. Then all of a sudden, this ox comes over and starts licking the head of the knight. Then all of a sudden, the ox steps back, has a tube of toothpaste. What toothpaste do you use? And starts squirting it on his teeth. And then the flashing light of the sign, neon sign, catches the attention of the ox. Now, after displaying the images in your head, how many of you can say all 10 of those words? Forwards and backwards. For me, I was able to say them all the way through, all the way back. And I tried it every day after. I can still say all 10 of them. So I was utterly amazed at that. And, you know, I thought at my age, man, how can I guess I can still learn, you know. Of course, I believe I can learn till the day I, am gone. So, but the next part of that was he said, I'm going to give you 10 more words. Let's go to the periodical table. We'll use 1 through 10. So 1 being helium, or excuse me, 1 being hydrogen, 2 being helium. My notes go. Anyhow, these 10 words of the periodical table had the same association to the images he gave before, where hydrogen is like a fire hydrant, helium makes balloons float, lithium is what batteries are. The barrel, I can't remember the terminology, but he utilized the same pictures for 10 other whole words. And I was just floored by how that worked. And I'm a firm believer, pictures, images can tell the whole story. And I don't want to go through that whole part of it because I wanted to talk about, he talked about 10 days quick start plan. And he gives you the faster theory, where fast is for forget, act, state, teach, enter, review. So, and they did another one which reminded me of Diane, when at the event she talked about ants. Kill your ants. And so there's a whole bunch of, each day they have different scenarios that you can go through to grow. So I wanted to definitely encourage everybody. If it's something we fear, go towards it, embrace it, and grow. That's the way I used to teach the athletes, as they knew what their strengths and weaknesses were. Okay, so you can fall back on your strength. So let's build your weakness so no one can attack that. And the same thing in this business, I'm a visual, so I'm gonna move my laptop real quick. So I used to have all the Seattle stuff on my walls. I don't know if you can see this, but now I have my upline, my customer, the plans, different things that are in our books. Over here is my dream wall and some products. I'm still working on pictures and stuff like that. Back here is my white wall. I've still got more pictures I want to add to that, So I'm putting a lot of visualization stuff around. So it helps and reminds me every time I'm in my room, which I'm in my room a lot. If I'm not at work or doing something, well, I'm not working right now, but I have visualization because that's what helps me remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, I'm a gabber, but I value and respect the time of it, so I want to do it. And thank you for the opportunity to at least talk to you guys. My mind, I wake up in the middle of the night all the time. This morning was different. And all these songs came to me about how to motivate, and that's what I tried to do with my athletes, motivate them by triggers. Triggers are things that help us do the things we need to do. So know what your triggers are, know what your strengths are, know what your weaknesses are, and make your weaknesses a strength, not something to hold you back. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Michael. That was amazing.
All you, Tricia.
I hope that you guys really took some notes and got something out of that. That was amazing. Great memory tricks, great motivation, great way to up our goals and our growth. Very, very good. And I love your use of songs. I too use songs. I was driving, I had an hour drive to one of my meetings last week, and I had my happy, motivating list of songs playing in the background. And literally halfway there, I wanted to... What?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Michael, what do you need?
She didn't hear you, Michael. Can you hear her? Oh, must be the internet.
I think he's just losing connection. Yeah. Anyway, I was halfway there and I had so much vibration and so much joy. I just wanted to come out of my skin. I was so excited and so happy. We got there. We signed up everybody in the studio. It's just your internet, Michael. It's okay.
There. Can you hear me now?
We could hear you before. It's okay.
All done.
Yeah, I know.
Well, send us that song too. Which song is what song?
I had like, I don't know, 20 or 30 in a row. I posted the playlist a little while ago on Telegram, but yeah, it's just find songs that bring you motivation. Michael listed 3 or 4 of his that build him and help him get excited. Everybody's going to be slightly different. So find your list and put it together and use it before your meetings, use it before your Zooms, use it before your connects with people, and it'll raise your vibration. It'll raise your excitement, raise your joy, and people will feel that from you and want to be attracted to it. They'll love our message, but they'll also love being around you. So, okay, well, with that, we're going to wrap this up. Have a great day, everyone. And thanks again, Michael, for doing that.
Great call, Michael. Thank you.